Imagine living alone in a jungle for 30 years, hiding from enemies that no longer exist, fighting a war that ended decades ago. But no one told you this is the unbelievable true story of a man who refused to surrender, even when the world moved on. August 1945. Japan has fallen. Hiroshima and Nagasaki are gone. Emperor Hirohito's voice echoes across the radio. Japan surrenders. But in the chaos, deep in the Philippine jungle, one man never hears that message. His name is Hiroo Onoda. Onoda was a 22-year-old intelligence officer trained in guerrilla warfare. His mission: do not surrender, do not die, stay behind enemy lines and gather intelligence. So when the war ended, he didn't believe it. He thought it was enemy propaganda. Every leaflet dropped from the sky saying, "The war is over." He called it a trick to him. The battles still raged on. For months, then years, Onoda and a few fellow soldiers survived in the jungle. They stole rice from nearby villages, hunted cattle, patched up their uniforms with bark and vines. Every sound in the forest, they believed was the enemy. When villagers tried to approach peacefully, Onoda opened fire to him. It wasn't 1947. It was still 1944. Years passed. Japan rebuilt. The world entered the space age. Men walked on the moon. But in a lonely corner of the Philippine jungle, Onoda was still fighting World War II. He lived off bananas, coconuts, and rainwater. When his comrades died one by one, he buried them with his own hands and kept going. Because in his mind, surrender was not an option. Then, in 1974, nearly 30 years after the war, a young explorer named Norio Suzuki entered the jungle. He was searching for a panda, a yeti, and a soldier who refused to surrender. Against all odds, he found Onoda. The two became friends. But even then, Onoda said he would not leave. "Not until my commanding officer relieves me of duty." The Japanese government found Onoda's former commander, now an old man working in a bookstore. They flew him to the Philippines. Dressed in his faded uniform, Onoda stood at attention. His commander gave the final order. "Lieutenant Onoda, the war is over. You are relieved of duty." Onoda lowered his rifle, still polished, still loaded, and finally came home. When Onoda returned to Japan, he was 52 years old. The boy who went to war had become an old man. He had missed television, airplanes, and the entire modern world. But his loyalty, his discipline, and his refusal to surrender made him a symbol of devotion, a hero to some, a tragedy to others. For 30 years, one man fought a war that no longer existed, not out of hate, but out of faith. Hiroo Onoda proved that sometimes the hardest battle isn't the one fought with bullets, but the one fought with belief. If this story moved you, imagine what else lies buried in the forgotten corners of history. Subscribe for more untold stories of World War II, because sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction.